First off, I'm going to have to apologize for the glare. Secondly, I'm going to turn this music down. There we go. This is Generation Next. I have all 4 issues ready to read, and it is a fantastic first off reading. I really wish back in the 90s I would have read this series. During the 90s, I don't know what I was doing. I was so busy I couldn't read anything. But the Age of Apocalypse, I probably just wrote it off as like, it's probably just trying to sell books. Well, duh. And it did a good job. I mean, it was a really good series. A good 4 months at least, whenever there was a total separation of the time continuum where Professor X died 20-some years before this time. So, this was 96. That means that Xavier died in the 70s from his son, Legion. In this issue, we got some very ruthless version of the X-Men that we're used to seeing, not quite as ruthless. We got Shadowcat, which is, of course, Kitty Pryde. She becomes intangible, but in this one, she is a ruthless, kind of a ninja-type woman. And her, husband, boyfriend, whatever, Piotr. And a little reveal of what's going to happen at the end, and I'm looking forward to reading next issue. I'm going to jump right into it after I get off of here. Well, I might go take a break and do something else real quick. Ilyana Rasputin. Oh, yes. Very last page, they reveal that Ilyana Rasputin is going to be the focus of the next issue. Like magic, into the heart of the slave pits. Be here. So yes, Ilyana Rasputin may be one of the hope that they have of changing the timeline back to what it should be. What am I talking about? Well, Magneto has been contacted by Bishop, who comes from an alternate timeline. He actually is from our timeline. He explains that this is not the way it's supposed to be. Professor X never got killed. None of this is supposed to happen. And so they go through the database with something called Know-It-All. I don't know if she's a computer or a mutant / computer. But this was back whenever the internet was just beginning in 1996. So we had a whole lot of the internet. Oh, we're going to use it for superhero powers and stuff. Well, anyway, she uses her, hacking abilities to get into the computers of Apocalypse and scan for different people that might be able to travel back in time and might be able to alternate the reality that they're currently suffering through, because it's a post-apocalyptic future, or technically a totally apocalyptic future. Well, not technically future. I think it said 1996, to be honest with you. I haven't read that part yet. We got characters that you may or may not be familiar with. First off, the Chamber that I knew didn't have a bottom jaw. He was just completely fired from his basically from his chest up to his nose. That's the Chamber in the apocalyptic universe, or the Age of Apocalypse universe. Then we have a girl named Husk right here, Paige Guthrie. She's the sister of Cannonball. Then we have this guy right here named Mondo. Not quite sure what he is, other than some kind of Incredible Hulk. But then we got a page, 2 pages of information about why this is happening. Actually, it's 1995 is when this was happening. I mean, if you could pick this series up, I got these for like $1 each back in the day. I don't know if you can still find things for $1. I don't have any comic book shops around me. But if you could pick these up for like $1 each, or $4 for all 4, or even if you got to pay a little bit more, they're better than the crap you're reading nowadays on these. I'm just telling you right now. I'm not saying all comic books from the past are better than all comic books from the present, but I honestly have enjoyed reading every one of these series that I've found. And I definitely have read other ones of the Age of Apocalypse. I guarantee you'll enjoy this. Pick it up. We also have other characters that join the... they start off with like this big brawl where they're basically teaching the Generation Next, which is kind of like the New Mutants from the 90s. It's kind of like the the Junior X-Men. And they're trying to teach them, but they're being really ruthless in the process. I mean, it's like they don't hold punches whenever they train them. Because they say, well, the Sentinels aren't going to, give you any... the Sentinels are not going to go easy on you, or the Flatskins, or the Bad Seed. So she's only doing this for your own good by basically torturing her. And then we got Skin, which looks a little different. He's got gray skin, and he's one of the few people that can actually catch Kitty Pryde, because she can become intangible except to vibranium, and according to this, to his skin. And then there's one other character. I'm not familiar with this character at all. He's in physical contact. Vincent. I'm sure that's not a superhero name. but evidently he can turn into dirt. I don't know. Don't know much about him, but so far I am really, really, really looking forward to the next issue because I want to see one of my favorite characters. I don't know why I think she's so cool. Not the younger version of her, but when she became magic, she became a total BA. And I mean, I'm just thinking back to when I was a kid reading the comic books, and I thought she's really cool. And I did like her a lot in the comics. And I guess it's my, here I am going back into my childhood and going, oh, I'm so excited to read about her becoming part of the next issue. Looking forward to it. Hey, so if you've read this issue, comment below if you enjoyed it. Let me know what your reflections are. When was the last time you read it? Did you read it back in 1995? I was not one of these people who read it in 95. I'm reading it right now for the first time. But I do have a lot of the Age of Apocalypse series. Most of them are out in the storage shed. But I definitely want to get around to reading all of them before the apocalypse happens on our earth, which is pretty soon according to all the things I'm seeing. Catch you guys in the next one. Hopefully, I'll have issue 2 ready to review and talk about with you tomorrow.